April 28th, 7 p.m. I have 5 pumps running. 2 of them continuously and 3 of them every 20 seconds or so. One underneath the house, 2 in some basement window wells, 1 in the backyard, and another one in the backyard to help out because the first one doesn't have enough capacity. I am pumping thousands of gallons of water. Here's the temporary one I just rigged up to the backyard, and I'll show you why that is. I have 80 feet of this blue hose to get it around the house, and this is why. My whole backyard is one big giant pond. The water is probably at its deepest point about 2.5 to 3 feet deep. The edge of the pond is maybe 15 feet from the house, 15 feet from a window into the basement. So the water itself, the water level is actually much higher than the basement. I'd say 8 feet, good 8 feet or so higher than the basement. So this is my lake. When I started this, it was above the bottom rung of the fence out here. I came home from work and this is what I found. The pump is, there's a tree right there, a big pine tree. The pump is about 2 feet in front of that pine tree and about 4 feet down in the ground, maybe 3 feet down in the ground, in a big well, and it's pumping continuously. It just can't keep up with the water right now. So I've taken my spare pump, put it on this hose just to help it out. It's running continuously, and I'm slightly worried right now because the water is still coming down the hill at me. There's the water through the bushes. I don't know if I can get a good shot at this, but it is just, you see right out here in the bushes, right out here. It's just still coming down the hill. There's a good 50, 60 feet of hill elevation above me. This is that 3 feet of snow we had last Friday. And it is just all melting right now. The water table is really high and there's no place for it to go. So it sits right here. And normally the pump keeps up, but we had so much, there's no way it can keep up. Right now my basement is dry, but you can see the weather. The weather is cloudy skies and there's a chance of rain or more snow. So I have a pretty serious problem. I have got to get this water out of here. If I take on any more, I will soon be in the basement. I will soon be in the basement. This pond is a good, oh, I'd say in its widest point, maybe 60 feet wide. A good 40 feet in the other direction. I mean, it is just huge. It is huge. It's almost to the bottom of the electrical panel where the first pump plugs into. If it goes above that, I'm screwed, because then that can't be underwater. It's just plugged in inside a weather-tight box. Not a watertight box. Keeps the weather out, but it won't keep standing water out. So I am pumping. My big pump that's in the hole over there pumps out 5,800 gallons an hour. 7 o'clock, I got home at 5. It's been pumping continuously since then, so that's 10,000 gallons. This little black one here with the blue hose is a little bit smaller capacity. I think it's like 3,200 gallons an hour. That's about the size that's in the basement and in the ones in the window wells. So 58, 32, that's 6, that's 9,000 continuously. And the other two, if they're about 3,200 gallons an hour, they're cycling on and off. So I'd say they're on probably half the time, so half as much, 1,500 gallons an hour, each one of them, times 3. So another 4,500 gallons. So I think right now I'm pumping about 13,500 gallons an hour right now. There goes the pump in the window well right here. It's pumping. Here's my temporary hose. Pumping. There goes the one underneath the house. So much for the drought. There's no drought. Now I'm just crossing my fingers I have enough to stay ahead of this. If I look to the west, the clouds are getting gray. I'm a little nervous today. This has happened one other time to me in the what, 8.5 years we've lived in the house. This has happened one other time, but I didn't do the spare pump. I was keeping up with it. But right now, the basement is dry. So with a little luck, I'll stay on top of this. This is the pump that's coming out of the backyard, the one that's buried in the hole. Permanent drain that goes all the way around the house. I'd say that pipe that's sticking out of the ground there is probably, what's the other one? I'd say this pipe is probably a good 100, 120 feet to the pump. And it's just pumping like that. It hasn't stopped. It was cycling this morning about every 20 seconds or 30 seconds or so, and I wasn't too worried about it. Came home at 5 o'clock and it's been running ever since. I had to run to Home Depot and buy more hose and jerry-rig this other pump to try and help it out, because this is just, it's not keeping up. I'm probably filling my pond at 5,000 gallons an hour. So maybe with the second pump I can get ahead of it. Unbelievable. All the water goes down the driveway.